Yo, what's up, guys? It's Glitchmaker, and today I want to do something a bit different. I have had to solve a lot of last turn related questions for people, so I decided that I would just make a summary of what it does and what it also doesn't do. So maybe some people can know a little bit more about the card and can better apply its effects, which should also save at least a little bit of headache for judges. First, we have to read the card text. This card can only be activated during your opponent's turn when your life points are 1,000 or less. Select one monster on your side of the field and send all other cards on the field and in their respective owners' hands to their respective graveyards. After that, your opponent selects and special summons one monster from their deck in face-up attack position and attacks your selected monster. Any battle damage from this battle is treated as 0. The player whose monster remains alone on the field at the end phase of this turn wins the duel. Any other case results in a draw. The issues. Last Turn is a card released in Legacy of Darkness with its final print being Dark Beginning 2. It is a card which at the time already had strange and unconventional wording, and today it lacks problem-solving card text. It is an alternative win condition and also has a draw condition as well. Outside of the rulings provided after Genesis format dropped, its last rulings were from when Upper Deck still controlled the TCG. These rulings have since been deemed unofficial, but they can still be used to attempt to make sense of the card today. For the rest of this video, we will be using modern TCG rulings, OCG rulings, as well as Upper Deck rulings to try and piece together what this card does. Order of operations. If your life points are 1,000 or less and it's your opponent's turn, you may activate it. This is an activation condition and the card has no real cost associated with it. For effect, the player who activated it chooses a monster they control. All other cards from both players' hands and fields are sent to the graveyard. After resolution, the player who did not activate last turn summons one monster from their deck in attack position and is forced to immediately attack the opponent's monster. All damage here will become 0. During the end phase, the player whose monster remains alone on the field wins the duel. Anything else ends the duel in a draw. Simple, right? No, this is not easy. Most of these effects do things not written on the card, and some of them even just don't do what they say at all. This causes a lot of issues, but I will try my best to provide correct, accurate information to the best of my ability. Please note that even if I am 100% factually correct in absolutely everything in this video, all rulings are subject to change when and or if Konami provides more rulings and or proper problem-solving card text. First of all, small things, and a new ruling. Last turn does not target. Last turn cannot be activated in damage step. Most of the effects will occur after resolution. Last turn will attempt to resolve and apply as much as possible. The player who activates last turn will still have priority to choose their end phase triggers, resolutions, whatever. In short, if you summoned Magma earlier in the turn and then activated last turn, or let's say you will summon Magma at all the same turn, you activated last turn and activated successfully Magnemut's effect. You can resolve Magnemut to get your search before resolving last turn's win condition. Last turn, as per the official Genesis format blog, cannot be activated if the opponent cannot special summon. This is different from the Upper Deck rulings due to changes in the game rules. Summoning after resolution. This is the ruling most likely to change. According to Upper Deck rulings, before applying the effects after last turn resolves, all new chains must occur and resolve first. As long as there are no other triggers, last turn will continue to apply effects. For example, if Shadal Squamata is sent to the graveyard by last turn's effect, before last turn applies the effect for the opposing player to summon, Shadal Squamata may, and if it does must, start the chain first. If Squamata sends a card that also has an effect that could go off, such as Shadal Beast, its effects can also fire off. This will repeat until there are no more triggers left. Basically, last turn will not summon until the next open game state. The Genesis blog post contradicts this ruling by saying a hypothetical version of last turn with problem-solving card text would probably say immediately after this effect resolves, yada yada, but they don't include anything else, and they don't include anything more than just immediately after this effect resolves, and then the effects to apply. This would make sense for current rules, however, it does contradict the upper deck rulings. Unfortunately, Konami TCG does not typically provide rulings, so realistically, and it could be either scenario, please ask your head judge for how they are going to rule this. Personally, I would say it would be the one that is just immediately after the effect resolves, apply the summoning, is how most judges are going to rule it. However, keep in mind, the previous upper deck ruling one may be ruled. Extra battle phase. When last turn forces the opponent to attack, an extra battle phase is created. This battle phase functions similarly to the standard one, however, damage is reduced to 0. If the player who last turn is forcing to attack's battle phase is skipped, for example by a runic spell, it will simply be skipped. Last turn will still resolve and apply as many of its effects as possible. After this extra battle phase, you return to the phase you were in. So if last turn activates in standby phase, you will return to standby after this battle phase, or if it gets skipped, you will just continue your standby phase. Applying the win condition. If only one player controls a monster, the player that controls the monsters wins. If both players control a monster or if both players control no monster, the duel results in a draw. Keep in mind that some judges may read the card and go, you can only control one monster to be able to get the win condition. But I do think that it would be only one player controlling a monster at all. But keep in mind, it could just be one monster, and that could just be how it's ruled. Note that duels can still result in a draw under current time rules. You just go to the next duel. Only matches cannot result in draws, in which case it's a double loss. Other things. You are able to use Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring in response to last turn, similarly to how you can use Dominus Impulse or Tearlament's Rukalos in response to IP Masquerena. However, you, for some reason, cannot use Solemn Judgment to negate the summon of the monster last turn is forcing the opponent to summon. This is similar to Last Will, because Last Will also has some of the weird things to do with the monster it summons. So some last turn rulings will apply to Last Will as well. Keep in mind this is different to how IP Masquerena works. IP Masquerena, assuming she is Chain Link 1, you can still judgment the monster she link summons, to my knowledge. Please ask your judges about complex and offbeat rulings. I cannot stress this enough. Always ask your judges if you are unsure. Preferably before the tournament starts. Here are the resources I use. The Wikipedia link just goes to some of the other places that I went to, and it also has a summary of those places as well, for what's relevant to last turn, obviously. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Blog post is going for the ruling relating to the opponent not being able to special summon. And the Twitter post is for how Konami ruled last turn versus Ash Blossom at a YCS Genesis format event. All of these links will be in the description. Screw this card. Hi! I actually have a Ko-Fi now for anyone who wishes to support my endeavors. Do not feel pressured to support the Ko-Fi. It is just something I wanted to make for this channel and some other reasons that I'm going to keep private. Alright, thank you. Bye.